nerves pricked by bristling shoots, and the world's regard, every eye winking. Pleasures in your chestnut hair, virgin clavicle and expansive hip, and modesty. Could such purity undertake moss and muscle, the tuft of a grafted hyphenate? He. At 15, you've conned the cartilaginous nub that signifies containment, sufficiency, genus. But believe me, Juniper, even your name is slivers of apple and a distilled kick. No, let you and I be decidedly cups and presents of insects, we in feminine profusion. And then I thought I'd read 3 poems from this, which is another series, my previous series, which I worked on for years. Years. And then it took about 3 years for Diane to do these beautiful illustrations, which she would not call illustrations, by the way, she hates that. But I thought I'd just read the first poem in the book, which is called The Education of the Virgin. I was very interested in how, when I was preparing to have my first child, everything was sort of little yellow ducks and pastel blue and pink. And then I had him, and it was all blood. And, you know, a tiled room that could be sluiced down afterwards, and really, you know, harsh. And I thought, you know, that's pretty extraordinary, what I just went through. Just the dismemberment of me in some way. How incredible this is. I needed something more than those ducks. I needed a superhero, you know, some kind of goddess. And I thought, well, what about the Virgin Mary? I mean, there she is. So powerful in her patience and tolerance and forgiveness. But I wanted to kind of recreate her in various other guises, as a cigarette machine, as they mentioned, as a pelican, as an old lady watching Johnny Carson. And in this one, it's called The Education of the Virgin, which is an art historical trope. You know, they're often in the Gothic period showed the Virgin Mary preparing for the Annunciation. She'd be reading books, and she'd be in an enclosure that was of the new architecture, and there was the old crumbling church on the other side. So she represented the modern. So this one is mine, and I'll just show you the pictures first. Because I spent a lot of time in the library at Story Hour doing this kind of thing. So I'll give you some sense of I wanted these to be comics, and would have preferred, actually, if this was published in a softback, you know, with kind of substandard paper. But this one came out. You can see it for all the lights. So these are all from the different stanzas, and my poems are in the balloons and in the captions, my words rather. And then this one, which is my favorite one because it's the most garish and violent of them all. Okay. The Education of the Virgin. Virgin Mary has never ventured in the caves of Texas, where bats, little shudders, breed like bad memories. She has none, you know, no packed bags at the Union Station, where bats press themselves flat against the peeling ceiling. No shuddering regrets electrify her epidermis like the flit of a donkey's ear. This defines her innocence. The sadness she feels for souls consigned to places always cold, where the only lights are those flickers of conscience we bring with us. She did it only once, and that was a Eucharistic moment, the apotheosis of grace, as if her womb were lined with communion wafers. It's God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in there, swallowed, perhaps, and passed with a kiss through nether lips. Virgin Mary never goes where she is unwanted. She bows her head to the ecstatic eradicators, tribe haters, sex haters, haters of the poor. If her hovel is bulldozed, she has a cousin in Babylonia. Although moving for Virgin Mary predicates cosmological occurrences, avian messengers, and then there are the tickets and checkpoints. She turns her palms to heaven, a fine dust collects. Life was a book, Virgin Mary calmed, until that death, so public, sap dripping along his legs, slow as the delineation of error from justice, getting down the body, unhooking his hands like drapes from a rod, only to stop a hole. And then the last one in the book is called Madonna Bomb. And I have read that a number of the suicide bombers they found were old women who had been, their hands had been taped to the steering wheel and their feet to the accelerator. So that was, I found it very interesting. So this is the explosion. This print is actually 8 feet long. It's on display on exhibit right now in Washington State. Madonna Bomb. There are no words to describe the way she hunches, belly resting on thigh, key turned on, and she cannot turn it off, working the brake with her other foot. It's hard to see into the distance, sitting like that. She drives a dichotomous street, the blood flowing in and out, birth and death, every turn leading to this one, and a line of Hummers, the checkpoint where she must slow. They will not like her duct tape mittens, as if her hands were very cold. But she cannot roll down the window with her hands stuck at 10 and 2. Is it very hot inside her womb as she moves faster down the street we all travel? Does she cry, my God, or merely Mary? She has ever eschewed the first person pronoun, savoring I, like a phosphorescence. It's all the same, isn't it? Whether she is dead before or after impact. Turn your hands up to heaven. Let the eyes of your palms, flaccid as the maws of lilies, look to those clouds. What passes there casts shadows that move away from where they're going and towards you. And then the last one is Madonna as Pelican. And if you have ever looked at medieval bestiaries, the pelican is connected to Christ because the pelican was believed to feed its young on its own blood. You know, very Christ-like image. But I was thinking, well, you know, it's feeding its young, so Madonna. Oh, spare me a little, that I may recover my strength before I go hence, or be no more seen. Awkward as anything built for cumbersome endurance, bulbous with ugly love, with my blood, you suckle the pouch beneath my maw. That's myth, that's Christ, that's why I'm quiet and sustained. My bowed bones are only yours, but feather-webbed and more lonesome.